Hey podcaster, I'm Tim Wahlberg, your podcast performance coach, with another actionable tip so you can grow your podcast authority, generate leads, and convert with ease. Today's tip is, say it again, Sam. The world's most compelling speakers have a secret weapon: repetition.
That's right.
Repetition. They know that repetition is a powerful way to get a message across, make it memorable, and make it more effective. Are you repeating yourself enough in your podcast? If you want your content to connect with your audience, then you need to start doubling or tripling down.
We want to be sticky.
Seriously, if you want your message to cut through the dishes, the horns, the shuffling of people getting on and off the buses, the clanging of the weights being dropped, you need to say it again, Sam. Your listener is busy, and repetition does a great job of pulling their attention back into your show. But it's not just about keeping your distracted listener engaged. There are plenty of scientific reasons to repeat yourself. Many studies prove the power of repetition in advertising, learning, and a general understanding of ideas and concepts. They've looked at the brain and have determined a couple of key things. Repetition triggers the hippocampus, which is where memories are formed. So repeating your message is going to make it stick. The hippocampus is also where cognition happens. So that means your message is better understood. Now, over in the frontal cortex, repetition actually causes reduced activity. Why is that good? Because it's an indication that the brain has become familiar with the idea. That familiarity leads to higher levels of belief and trust. Boom. What podcaster doesn't want that? So, thanks to how the brain is wired, repetition leads to increased retention, understanding, and persuasion. Warning, warning, warning. Repetition overload. There's one more thing the brain will do with repetition, and that is label it as annoying or possibly identify it as manipulative. So don't use it at an annoying level or try to be manipulative with it. By now, you are probably wondering how to do it effectively without becoming annoying. There are two approaches I want to share with you today: literal repetition and contextual repetition. The first is when you literally repeat yourself. This might be preceded by something like, "Let me repeat that," which brings their attention back and lets them know that it's important. You could also completely repeat the message or idea, possibly shifting the emphasis. I mean, completely repeat the idea by shifting the emphasis. And then there is the echo technique. Echo technique. This is when you only repeat the most important part of the message or idea without repeating the whole sentence. You do want to use literal repetition sparingly, or it will lose its effect. Now, contextual repetition, on the other hand, is less obvious. This is where you repeat your idea or message before and after adding an example, a story, an anecdote, or an analogy. I call it a repetition sandwich, and it is very powerful, especially in helping people understand what you're saying. That's why contextual repetition is less obvious and more effective. So you can use both of these approaches in your content with your guests, and I love it when hosts do that. They repeat the best stuff that their guest says to just drive it home. Another place you can use it is with your CTAs as well. Repeat your CTA so people know it's an important piece of the information. Remember, they don't have a pen hovering over a piece of paper and waiting for you to say your CTA, so do them a favor and repeat that CTA so that they are more likely to remember it when they do have a pen or they can log on to check out your website or your socials. Repetition is key with your call to action too, not just your content. So, are you using the power of repetition in your podcast? Should you be? If you're podcasting for your business to build authority and to generate more leads and sales, then the answer is yes. All of these things require your podcast to be remembered, your message understood and valued, and your audience to trust you as an authority. That's exactly what repetition can do for you. And I hope that's just the tip you need. Just the tip you need. Now, all of this really won't matter much if you haven't dialed in your why, what you want out of your show, or your who, that niched audience you're talking to. Don't even get me started on the what or how your systems and funnels are integrated. This is the foundational work that many podcasters didn't consider when starting their show, but that's not you. But if it is, you can call me. Let's start with that, because repeating and driving home your core messages will mean nothing if you're not talking to the right people and knowing what your listeners' next steps are. We can sort it all out on a free private coaching call. Just you, me, and your podcast. Book your free private podcast coaching call by using the link in the show notes or at podcastperformancecoach.com. I'm Tim Walberg. See ya!